Hi, I'm Anthony,
Hi, I'm Janine.
and today we're presenting Douglas MacArthur in our Captain MacArthur cereal.
It brings out the fighter in you.
And so this is basically a replica of the Captain Crunch cereal.
10 character traits that we chose were fearless, flamboyant, innovative, a leader, self-aware, responsible, dependable, courageous, passionate, and inspirational. The reasons why we chose these are MacArthur was fearless because he regularly exposed himself to danger. He was flamboyant because he always preached initiative and confidence, and was innovative because he had big plans to change the world.
On January 26, 1880, Douglas MacArthur was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. In 1903, he graduated from Army West Point. For 10 years, he served as an aide and junior engineering officer. In 1917 through 1919, MacArthur was Chief of Staff, Brigade Commander, and Divisional Commander during World War II. In 1930, he was promoted to General when he was selected as Army Chief of Staff. From 1935 to 1941, he served as a Philippines military advisor. Then in 1937, he retired from the U.S. Army. Once World War II, he was put in Japan. After World War II, he was put in Japan to rebuild it. In 1950, he was selected to command the United Nations in the Korean War. And in 1964, he died in Washington, D.C.
Douglas MacArthur grew up in Arkansas but moved around constantly. The reason for this being was he was the son of an officer of the U.S. Army, so they had to move around a lot. MacArthur's family mainly stayed in the West, therefore he spent most of his childhood on the western frontier. As for siblings, MacArthur was a baby of the family, youngest out of 3 brothers. MacArthur graduated from West Texas Military Academy in 1903 and was also valedictorian.
After MacArthur graduated from Army West Point, he served the next 10 years as an aide and junior engineering officer. During World War II, MacArthur was Chief of Staff, Brigade Commander, and Divisional Commander during combat operations in France. In 1930, he was promoted to General when he was selected as Army Chief of Staff. But 2 years later, he was criticized when he sent troops to oust the bonus Army veterans from Washington. In 1937, he retired from the U.S. Army. But once World War II came, he went back into duty and played a big role. He launched an offensive campaign in New Guinea that pushed Japan out in 1943. Later in 1945, he was in charge of the surrender ceremony in Tokyo Bay. Then he was put in Japan to help rebuild their country. During the Korean War, he helped the United Nations by putting his troops into Korea.
After all of his battles and his duty, him and his wife lived in a suite in New York City. In 1952, MacArthur was going to run for president as a Republican. Unfortunately, Eisenhower was chosen for that party and ended up winning the election. Eventually, MacArthur became the chairman of Remington, which made electrical equipment and business machines. Eventually, in 1964, MacArthur died in Washington, D.C. at the age of 84.
One quote from Douglas MacArthur is, "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent." Now this concludes our presentation, and I'm Anthony.
I'm Janine, and we out.